Hello and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I bring you the sad tale of what unemployment has reduced Nigerians to. So this is now what unemployed Nigerians are doing to occupy their time and to eke out some form of living. So this is what's going on in Nigeria at the moment. Unemployed Nigerians find solace in sports betting and make it a full-time job. Like most white-collared workers, Andrew Ejike gets dressed and leaves his house in the mornings in Enugu City. A computer laptop bag, which he carries like a suitcase, suggests that he is going to the office. When he returns home in the evening, his neighbors often ask, "How was work today?" And he will reply by saying, "Work was fine." Interestingly, Ejike does not have a job and certainly does not have a formal employment. He is unemployed, but he has created a job, and that job is in quotation marks, for himself. He is more or less a professional punter. Sports betting is what Ejike does, and when he leaves for work every morning on a working day, the office he goes to is actually a sports bar around the town. On getting to the bar, Ejike will set up his laptop, connect to the internet with a mobile device, open the website of any of the mobile sports betting companies, and start working on forecasts or permutations in order to come up with the bets that he would place for the day. A bachelor degrees holder in estate management from a federal university, Ejike has been sustaining himself and his young family with proceeds from sports betting after failing to secure a stable employment since he graduated more than 10 years ago. So that's more than 10 years ago. Ejike explained that he lost 2 previous jobs after the firm he was working with closed down. The pay from the jobs was not much anyway, but I believe there is dignity in labor. I was also hoping that along the line I would get something bigger and more stable, but I couldn't even hold on to those jobs because the firms closed down and nothing better came along, he said. According to Ejike, he has always been passionate about sports, particularly football, and even while he was working, had been placing bets regularly in sports betting sites, recording considerable success in the process. It was after failing to secure another job that Ejike decided to repackage himself by regarding his sports betting habit as a full-time employment. "I am not proud of my joblessness. I like to get dressed and go out in the morning to do something meaningful and then come back home at the end of the day. But unfortunately for me, I could not do that because I don't have a formal job. It is true that sports betting is not really a job, but it has been my sole source of income for a while now. I don't win all the time, but on average I do win quite often. Somehow it happens that I am making a living from it. For me, in the absence of a full-time employment, betting could as well be my job for the moment." Checks revealed that Ejike is just one of many unemployed Nigerian youths who have embraced sports betting as not just a hobby, but as a means of livelihood. To this class of Nigerians, the activity, which mostly requires a considerable dose of luck for one to prosper in it, is an avenue to make ends meet. For Sunday James, betting was nothing more than a hobby when he was working for a new generation commercial bank. But as he revealed in a chat, he has come to rely on the activity for income ever since he was laid off, along with some others, when the bank downsized. With another job nowhere in sight, James saw betting as a pathway to financial independence. "I have not had any job for about 3 years now. As someone who once worked in a bank where the salary was good, it has not been easy, but sports betting has been providing some much needed relief along the line. The occasional winning have been very helpful, he told the reporter. Ernest Chidi has not been able to secure any job since he graduated about 5 years ago. A prim and proper youth who distanced himself from all forms of social vices, including gambling while in school. Grim economic realities have forced Chidi to embrace sports betting. I don't know what I would have done without sports betting. It is as if my life now depends on it, the young man explained. Chidi further revealed that hitherto he had no significant interest in football or any other sports activity until he stumbled on sports betting. As he narrated his story during a football match between two popular European clubs at a viewing center, our correspondent observed that Chidi's attention was not really in the game per se. He was obviously more concerned about the bet he had placed on the match. He kept checking a website where he could get updates on live matches on his mobile phone in a bid to follow up on the scores in other games that he had placed bets. Those who have known Osaratin Jacob over the last 3-4 years would admit that you would hardly see him without noticing very long printouts of sports betting tickets dangling from his hands. Jacobs, an occasional tricycle and motorcycle rider, hoped that he would eventually win big through sports betting. During an encounter with our reporter, when he was observed comparing his tickets with some of his friends who were also brandishing their own betting slips, Jacob expressed a strong belief in his chances of winning millions of naira despite staking little amounts of money. I don't have much cash, so I usually bet on a large number of matches so that I could win a more substantial sum if any of my predictions are right, he explained to the reporter. Further interactions with Jacob showed that he had placed all his hopes of making it big in life on betting. He seems to have information about any case of big wins recorded in sports betting and is desperate to one day make it big himself. I have already planned how I will enjoy my life when I make it big. I pray that God will answer my prayer. It is just a matter of time, he added. Rising unemployment rate. Amid soaring unemployment rate, it is not surprising that an activity like sports betting, which comes with promises of instant financial gains, has been taken up by some Nigerians, particularly the youth, who are the ones mostly affected by the lack of jobs in the society. According to Trading Economics, a website which provides historical data, forecast, and news on more than 300 economic indicators from nearly 200 countries, Nigeria's unemployment rate has been on the rise. Unemployment rate in Nigeria increased to 23.10% in the third quarter of 2018 from 22.70% in the second quarter of 2018. Unemployment rate in Nigeria averaged 12.31% from 2006 up until 2018, reaching an all-time high of 23.10% in the third quarter of 2018. The website, which was updated on March 2019, said. The website added that youth unemployment rate in Nigeria averaged 23.63% from 2014 to 2018, reaching an all-time high of 38% in the second quarter of 2018. The classification of Nigeria as the poverty capital of the world, according to a report by Brookings Institute, when considered alongside the unemployment rates, suggests that sports betting could be a means of escaping the endemic poverty in the country. Interactions with avid punters indicate that at a subconscious level, betting gives those who indulge in it a considerable degree of hope akin to the expectation of an imminent good fortune. When you place a bet, you are hopeful. At that moment, you have something to look forward to. Just like in law, where it is said that a suspect is innocent until proven guilty. A punter is more or less a winner, at least until the result of the bet comes out, Ejike noted. The story goes on and on and on, with several examples of people placing their hopes in betting, because really there's no other place to place your hope within the Nigerian system, because there are no jobs available, there are no industries, there's no infrastructure, there's really nothing going on apart from, I don't know apart from what, but really I cannot identify anything that is going on. They say get an education and that will be the panacea to poverty. A lot of these people are graduates, as we've heard from the reading of that article, but that still is not a panacea to poverty in a place like Nigeria. We've read the statistics and it all sounds grim, but it's a land of plenty. You see, it's an oil-rich country. There's gold in Nigeria, the land is fertile and everything. There's water everywhere, there's bitumen, there's diamonds, there's everything that you can think of in Nigeria. There's iron ore in plentiful, in commercial quantity. There's everything that you need in Nigeria to make a nation, and yet the employment rate is at a staggering amount. It's the poverty capital of the world. I'm not going to go through all the grim stories. These are stories that you're familiar with, and these are accounts of real life experiences of people in Nigeria living it day to day. So now, what is the future for these people? What is the future for Ejike, who leaves his house in the morning pretending to go to a place of work, only to go to a betting shop where he hopes to win enough to sustain his family? What happens to him? What is the future for him? Does he win big? And if he doesn't win big, then what happens? He's been out of work, he's been unemployed for 10 years, so the prospects of getting back into the labor market is really very, very low, because if you think that 10 years, another stream of 10 sets of new graduates are entering into the labor market who are more current and fresher and younger, so the competition is very stiff, and so he finds solace in the betting shops. So that is the story of Nigeria, and this is where we are. See, so this is why some of us do these things, and we get agitated sometimes online, and we rant and we rave. So the reasons why we rant and we rave is because of people like Ejike and Chidi and people of standing. There's a story of the chap which we read who didn't go into any vices in his university days, but found himself in the betting shop because the circumstances of the country has led him there. So this is the storyline in Nigeria. What happens next? This is really where the question is. So this is the conversation now that I'm hoping to initiate and to start with you guys. So let's get into this one. Comment section is where we meet. So let's meet there and trash it out. Ejike, Chidi, what's the future? So I'll leave you here. Meet you in the comment section where we can progress this. So meet you there, leave you here, and I'll say peace.